Valor Vapor, and today I am going to show you how to set up a basic 900 milliamp hour eGo battery with a Kanger T3S clearomizer on top. So first, you've got your battery, and this is a 900 mAh or milliamp hour eGo style battery. Very basic, very easy to use, perfect for beginners. And right now this is off, and the way that you know it's off is because there's no light coming out of the little button right there. So to go ahead and turn it on, you just hit it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's gonna blink a couple times, and then it's gonna give off a blue light when you go ahead and press down that button, and that's how you know it's on. Now, if you're gonna be traveling, for instance, and have it in your purse or in your pants pocket or something like that, where it might be at risk of firing off, you're going to want to go ahead and turn that off. So to turn it off, same deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to blink, and now it's off. And the way that you know this is off and not dead is that when this battery dies, it will either turn that little button red, or it'll start to just blink as though you were turning it on or off. But every single time you press it, it'll start to blink. So that's how you know that this is off but not dead. And so moving on, this is the Kanger T3S tank, and it's a fabulous little tank. It's got replaceable coils, and all of the magic happens upside down in this. This right here is the replacement coil, and every 1 to 3 weeks, depending on use, is pretty average for when you're going to have to go ahead and change out this coil. Of course, you know, it just depends on how much you vape. So since we have this off, and you know the bottom is going to go right in there, but you got to take it off to fill it. It's going to hold about 3 milliliters of liquid in there, and you can see right down there that little hole. You don't want to get it down the hole. And so the way that this is going to work is that you go ahead and take your e-liquid, and I have got my Southern Nectar right here, and you hold this at an angle and you run it down the side and fill it up almost as though you are filling a beer from a tap. Now, you just fill it up right underneath that little lip in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah. And there's actually milliliter measurements, like there's a graduated measurement right on the side here. So if you want to fill it up to the 2.8 mark, then that'll go ahead and fill it up all the way. And then you just throw that right back down in there. Flip it right side up, and you are going to want to let it sit for a couple of minutes just to make sure that all of the juice absorbs into the replacement wick, or into the little wick down the center. Now, as far as this goes, this is a what's the word I'm looking for? Keith, want to help me? It's a pressurized tank.
Yes.
And so, as it goes with this, these 3 little gaskets on here, that one right there, that one, and the one right down there on the base, are going to keep that pressurized in there so it doesn't start leaking. If, for instance, you go ahead and lose this little top gasket right here off of your clearomizer, then it's going to start leaking like a sieve. And so anytime you're having leaking issues, first you want to make sure that this little wick right here is screwed down all the way, because you know, if it's not firing, or if you know, just starts to leak, that's kind of indicative either of the fact that the wick needs to be changed, or that it might be loose inside the actual little T3S canister. And so you just want to make sure that that's tightened down and that those seals stay in place. And the way that you know that a wick is bad and that it needs to be changed is that it'll either get a really burnt taste, it'll start leaking a lot, or it'll just stop working altogether. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to get that burning taste when it, and it's kind of like a burnt metallic taste, almost kind of like as though it was burning metal. And so you want to go ahead and change it out when it gets to that point. And also another reason why you want to let it sit is that if you accidentally fire off your battery prematurely before the liquid absorbs into the little wicks in there, then what that's going to do is it's going to dry burn that wick. And so just make sure that you let this sit for about a minute, or maybe 2, just to make sure that it goes ahead and absorbs into the wick. And so this goes on just like that. And since this little bottom part comes off, when you're taking off your battery to charge it at night, just make sure that you hold on to that little kind of serrated part right there with the ridges, and you unscrew the battery. And the reason why you want to do that is because if you accidentally unscrew the top of the Kanger T3S off, then all that juice is going to go right down the front of you, and that is no bueno. So anyhow, turn on the battery, and there you go. And it's beautiful. So that's all assembled. And also, if you start to hear kind of a almost kind of like a hissing sound coming from your Kanger when you go ahead and press the button down, that is normal. That means that it's working the way it's supposed to. If you don't hear any sound at all when you're pressing the button on your battery, then that generally means that something is wrong and it's not firing off. So hearing kind of almost like a little hissing sound is good. It's making the connection and working. So this is a 2 amp AC wall adapter and the little USB charging cable for the eGo. And that just goes in like that, all done. And right here, you just kind of screw this on. And you don't need to really tighten it down hard and kind of torque it on there. Just make sure that it's nice and snug. And initially when you plug this in, that little light right there is going to be green. And as soon as you put a battery that needs a charge on there, then it's going to turn red. And from a completely dead battery, it'll take about 2 to 4 hours to fully charge, and then that little light will turn green again. Now in some eGos, they'll go ahead and flash while they're charging, or some of them may go from like a red light to a blue or a white light once, they're getting towards being done charged. Don't even worry about that. Everyone that manufactures these makes them a little bit different. And so the telltale sign that this is fully charged is when that little light right there goes from red back to green, and that's how you know it's fully charged. And so I hope that this has been informative and helpful. And please give us some feedback and enjoy.